making my video response to this week's topic in Witchyversity. I don't even know what week we're on anymore, so I'm not going to give it a number right now. But this week it was Protection Magic. So I'm going to share with you some of my go-to items that I carry with me to bring protection. One thing I wanted to start off with is I don't do as much as a lot of people do. I haven't done burying a witch's bottle, lining my home in crystals on the perimeter. I haven't felt the need thus far. Gonna knock on some wood, please. But I think since one of the reasons I discovered witchcraft was during my studies of the law of attraction, I try not to ever focus on negative. I try not to draw negative towards me, which again, I know no one asks for bad things to happen. But overall, I don't feel like I have a need for high levels of protection magic, high levels of security. However, I do want to protect myself and my family from the mundane dangers that are out there. Things like cars and driving. I will tell you, living where I live in the world, it has one of the worst, it's like in the top 3 probably worst places to live as far as traffic is concerned. People here are cutthroat when it comes to driving. I have said this for years, and this surprises me as a person from the South, as I always bring up. People are pretty considerate down there. I know it's gotten worse over the years, but every time I go home to visit family, one of the things I so love is there is still Southern hospitality on the road. If I realize I need to exit quickly, I don't cut people off. I put on a signal and hope to be let over. And in the South, they will let you over. They're like, come on, sweetheart, go ahead. All right, peace, you want some tea? You know, I mean, for reals. Here, you can put on your signal, and they're like, fuck you, sucks to be you, die. I swear that it's what it's like. So, tangent. My point is, I do a lot of protection type magic for my car and to keep us safe in that car. And it's been pretty, again, knock wood. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been successful thus far. I have crystals that I use and keep in my car. I have things hanging from my rear view mirror, but then I also have some things just tucked away on little spots. I've done some research over the years as far as some of those crystals that do offer protection. One of the people I'd like to listen to on one of my podcasts, she hates the wording of saying you can program your crystals to do something. She's like, they're not a VCR. You can't order them and program them to do anything. You can ask them to do this for you. So I respectfully ask them and put as I always say, charge them with my intentions and pray over them and anoint them with oils and things. I say my go-to oil for protection is clove oil that I made. This was the first oil I ever made, and so I'm proud of it. I anoint a lot of my crystals with this, especially if I want them to work for me, to protect me. Funny little side note with my car. I had some issues with it, kind of a long story, but again, where I live, because of all the traffic and because of the giant, massive amounts of people here with cars, every year, you have to pass the emissions test and the safety test and all this. And I have a Jeep Wrangler, and my car was having some problems with passing. So to shorten the story, I was driving for about 8 or 9 months with expired tags. Not really fault of my own, because I went 3 or 4 different times to try to get it taken care of, and for one reason or another, it was just difficult. So my protection magic was really, I would chant about a cloak of invisibility, especially since a few times there were police officers pulling out behind me, and I'm thinking, oh gosh. And so I had a little chant I would say, and never got busted, never got pulled over. Finally did what I needed to do and got it taken care of. But it was about 8 months I was driving around with expired tags in traffic and in total fear that I would get busted. Plus, Not to mention here, you have to have the license plate on the front and on the back of your car. So you had to worry when the police officer was coming towards you also. So that one worked. Yay. For my everyday protection, again, I'm not worried about big, bad, horrible things, but I have had some pretty negative energies in my environment in the past year or two. I've mentioned a little bit about that horrible beast I worked with last year, this woman who is evil, evil in shoes. She's horrendous, and I was connected to her, unfortunately, because we taught the same grade. At the time, our school was going through construction, remodeling, whatever, and we were out in these little portable classrooms, trailers, and the walls were paper thin. The doors connected us, and I had a few things set up to protect me from her nasty energy, because it was so, being the empath I am, I'm a walking sponge a lot of times, and she's a walking excrement, and she wants to shit her stuff all over you. She does. And I would gear myself up every morning. I have a selenite wand, and I would go over my body, cut the cords, any negative cords that were plugged into me that day. I would sage myself. I would gear up by arming myself with crystals. I have lots of hematite. That's my favorite. My current one I had pulled out. Here it is. So this is a worry stone, and anoint it with that clove oil. And being a girl, it's kind of nice because I just tuck it right in. So I usually just whoop, put it under the girls. And by the way, you may know this, your left side doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter what dominant your hand is, but your left side is your receiving side, and your right side is your projecting side. And that might be opposite if you're left-handed. So for me, I'm right-handed. So if I put a crystal, a ring, something in my bra, on the left-hand side, I'm receiving it. So I might be receiving protection on the left-hand side, but then the right-hand side, I might have a carnelian or a type of red stone, something that is power, and I want to project the power. So put that on the other side, or wear the ring on the other side. Again, since I'm right-handed, I hate to wear rings on my right hand. I just don't want it to be encumbered. But the left hand, I have lots of giant, that's one of my jasper stones. I have to say, I'm not a part of a coven. I almost said my coven. I wish it was. But my little meetup group, one of our get-togethers, there was an older witch there, and she's very sweet, very generous, and she brought just a plethora of rings, and she offered them to us, and it was me and one other girl there, and we just scooped them all up. And so this is just 3, but I think I probably got about 10 rings from her, and this is so weird because it's backwards. They're all forms of jasper, and they're big, but, you know, they fit nicely on, you know, middle finger. Not many of them fit on the ring finger. One is so big, I can wear it on my thumb, but it's a giant shape. So here's another crystal type thing that I'll wear for protection. This is a tiger iron. So it's tiger's eye with hematite in it. And that to me just screams of strength and protection. And if there's a reason, I will wear this if I feel like I need to. So this is scattered. I apologize. I have also made myself just with a little stretchy band, and I go to Michael's and I buy some of their crystal gems for beading. I always buy the ones that are real and not colored. I don't like it when they've changed the color. But I do all the things I do with my crystals, where they charge every full moon, tomorrow night, yay! Every full moon, I take all of my jewelry, all of my crystals, every single thing, and I put it outside. And if it's raining, it gets a little tricky. I don't always do it if it's raining, but if it's just misting a little bit, I'll put the fragile stones under a cake what is that? Cake stand with a little glass dome. So I'll still place them outside. Some things I worry about, like selenite, that stuff is so fragile that I worry that even under glass, the moisture could seep in and destroy it. So My selenite, if it's rainy, I don't take it out. But most of the time, it gets at least a little bit of time outside. All right, back to business. What's another form of protection I do? This is not really totally protection, but it is, because if I have absorbed a lot of negativity, I did this a few times last year. If I have the luxury of this, after my little one has been put to bed, or if he's spending the night at grandparents, I will come home and draw up a bath. I don't usually make time for a bath because showers are not for fun. They're get in, get out, be done. But I will pour the tub full. I put a lot of salt in it. Epsom salt, but also sea salt. I have some that I found at World Market. It's got a mixture of clay. It's like red clay with the salt. I'll put that in the tub, and I have some oils. Hibiscus, I've heard, is a very nice one for cleansing. I'll put some hibiscus oil in there and some sage oil. Sometimes lavender if I want to go there, but usually it's a cleansing bath. And put that in there, light some candles. You can even have 2 candles lit and walk through them. And again, all of this is to take the, I almost said poisons, but the energies, the nasty energies away, and get in, soak. Even though this is not good for the hair, if it's been bad enough, I will dunk myself. I will go all the way under the water and stay under the water and make a few dunks to baptize myself out of that and just cleanse everything. If it's not that bad, I mean, salt is not good for the hair, so I won't put it in I won't let my hair get in it. So those are some more things. What else do I have? Ooh, here's another one. So a lot of you like to thrift shop like I do. When I thrift shop, especially clothing, if I buy any kind of clothing, before I even put it in the washing machine to wash it, I sage it. I open the windows, hang it in the window, or hang it and sage the hell out of it, or do it outside even. I want to get any residual crap out of it. If it's any item other than clothing, you know, just cleanse it thoroughly. I use the bell, I use the sage, I use all that stuff. I've heard mentioned that you can carry along water, like a little spritz bottle with salt water in it, and before you bring things into your car. If you are super sensitive and you tend to attract spirits or anything, they say don't even bring it in your car. If you buy something, they said especially if it's jewelry, if it's nice jewelry, you can pretty much bet that there is something attached to it, because in a woman ghost, because usually they say men hang on to their cars. They'll stick with their prized cars or something like that. But women, the only thing they're really attached to is jewelry, especially anything that's precious, an heirloom type thing. So they say if you do tend to attract a little extra visitor coming home with you from shopping, before you bring it into the car, spritz it with the salt water. Again, I'm not going to be spritzing a silk something with salt water because it's going to destroy it. But you can buy an incense matchbook type thing. The ones I've bought so far, most of them don't smell very good, but if you can find one, and you know, I'm assuming you could get a sage one. I don't have sage. I was going for cinnamon and stuff like that. But you can light something like a little incense match and use that possibly. I'm not sure, but just to be aware, because a lot of us who thrift, you want to just be very careful that you are protecting yourself and not bringing a lot more home than you had intended. Here's another one. I had forgotten about this one. So when I was rooming next to Evil Lady last year, I put plants. There's a lot of plants that can offer protection, and if you really want to, you can put cactuses or an aloe vera plant, anything prickly. It's kind of feng shui. You can put that near a door or a window, and it helps keep that energy, that prickle, like if you come at me, it's gonna poke you. So I would put plants right by the door that connected us, and that kind of helped. I've also heard you can keep basil. Basil is supposed to be a nice form of protection. I keep I have several basil plants in my kitchen that just grow. And I have an aloe vera plant in my kitchen. Now, if you're trying to attract love, they say that's not a good thing to have, but I don't really care. I mean, you know. Ooh, here's another one. So, stuff you can do with your body. You can protect yourself by crossing your arms. It protects where your chakras are, but also you can close yourself down from negative energy. You can also cross your fingers. I've heard people who will cross their fingers and hold your breath. I've been known to hold my breath when I'm passing someone in a hallway who I can't stand. I want no part of them. You can cross your fingers, hold your breath, whatever. You don't want to pass out and look like some kind of fool, but, you know, might work. So those were just a couple random things that I've done myself and I've tried. Thankfully, I haven't felt the need for super strong protection. I pray over our house. I visualize a white light around our house, and like I protect it with my energy. But I'm also thankfully I live in a safe place, so I haven't felt like I needed to do a whole lot more. If I did, then I do have a couple nice little resources. This one is a good one. This is another Scott Cunningham, Magical Household. The glare is annoying. Oh well. It's got some great ones. And then I don't know if you guys have this book. It is huge. It is like one of those encyclopedia type books. The way it's organized, I got a few sticky notes. The way it's organized is kind of tricky, but you can use the index, or you can look up an issue. Like if you're looking for protection, you can look up protection, and there are, I don't know, there's like 30 pages that have things about protection. It goes through everything you would need. It has herbs, plants, animals, deities, moon phases, days of the week. Everything you need to make your own spell, but you're double checking your ingredients. And you're like, now what would be the best time to do this? You can look it up. It's really a resource guide. It's so worth having on your shelf. I recommend all people have it if you are at all interested in being witchy. That's it for now as far as protection magic. I would love to hear what works for you. If I decide in the future that I'm going to take it up a notch, maybe make one of those really cool little witch bottle things, then I will let you know. But until next time, take care, you guys.